The Thermaltake Vista 470M. This particular gaming PC is a Thermaltake gaming PC. It's one that is made by Thermaltake using components that can fulfill the job of a gaming PC. The components, nonetheless, in this device are actually very interesting, as it uses, in this case, an AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. It also uses a GeForce RTX 5070 graphics card. Experience blazing fast load times with 1TB NVMe SSD, seamless multitasking with 32 gigs of DDR5 memory. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. I'm excited and elated to have the opportunity to get our console brethren acquainted with the PC paradigm. For months and months and months and weeks and weeks and weeks, I've been trying to tell these cats, guys, PC is where it's at. And next thing you know, Xbox decided that they were going to go ahead and announce their own gaming handheld PC, which they made in conjunction with Asus. Since this device's onset, there have been different conversations. Some within the Xbox community feels like we've been betrayed. We're not getting our limited access, expensive console paradigm anymore. While some on the PlayStation side are saying, haha, you got a PC, but it's not an Xbox. But in reality, when you filter it down, there's a lot of ignorance running on all sides of the conversation. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but your ideas, I wish to actually not only throw them under the bus, but also drive the school bus over it, reverse, drive it over it, then put it on drive over it, then put it on reverse, drive over it, then put it on drive and drive over it, and keep doing that back and forth as we get the truth out there. So I'll be screaming out the window of that bus and telling you exactly what the truth is, what I think you should know. This paradigm where companies can actually build their own gaming PCs and brand them using whichever components that they want is actually common practice. It's been a thing in PCs for a long time. I put Thermaltake in front of you. Some of you who've built enough PCs, you know what Thermaltake actually does. In fact, let me go ahead and show you what Thermaltake actually, pretty much represents for a lot of PC builders. Their power supply. They make, in my opinion, some of the more affordable power supplies that you can get your hands on out there in the market. In fact, the Thermaltake Smart Series is a very, very popular one. This specific one comes in 500, 600, and 700 watts. But if somebody told you that they made gaming PCs, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool. They're using an AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D and a 5070 RTX GPU. The crazy thing too is Gamers Nexus actually tore down this PC. When they tore it down, everybody who, understands and knows how this works in PC would have been, yeah, this is normal. But people who are claiming that the Rogue Xbox Ally and the Rogue Xbox Ally X aren't PCs would be shocked that Thermaltake is branding a PC that carries other brands inside of it, such as ASRock, who makes the motherboard, and MSI, who makes their 1TB NVMe that they're talking about in this particular case. Another really cool thing was, as they were also tearing it down, they had an Asus-made GPU inside of it. The RAM is Thermaltake, yes, and then I'm sure the cooler is probably a brand that they made themselves, also a Thermaltake. But ideally, you're going to notice that some of the major components, CPU, motherboard, GPU, are not Thermaltake. And so this is common. This is normal. Even companies like Dell would take on such tasks and make these kinds of gaming devices. What I've been trying to put forward to some of the folk that are on console is, you see, when you go ahead and listen to some of the people that are out here trying to lie to you, you're going to carry what I think are wrong ideas. Cody Allred, shout out to you. You seem open-minded, and I'm, very much appreciative of that. You've put forth a few comments that are basically D-Batch level comments. Let me give you a warning with D-Batch. D-Batch likes to make a lot of noise. The problem with his ideas is that even when he's proven to be wrong, he will spurg until everybody ignores him. In this case, I look at some of the things you've said, like this is an Xbox, or wasn't created by Xbox, created by Asus. That notion is going to get you into PC gamer hot water, where people will mock and laugh at you, and I don't want you to be laughed at. So, guys, this is an educational moment. Let me go ahead and kind of give you something. For me, when someone's ideas are not formed, I'm not here to mock them. Honestly, mocking them, yes, I know it's the easy thing to do. And maybe they don't want to learn. I get it. It could also be easy to mock them, but I'm not interested in doing that. I'm interested in pointing that these ideas are flawed. You said cannot play games that you bought at the store. Which store? The Xbox PC store? Because Xbox has a PC store. Which store? The EA PC store? Because EA has games for consoles. Which store? The Ubisoft PC store? Because Ubisoft also has games for consoles. So again, I think a lot of people are pretty much allowing their console paradigm to overlap with what they could understand on PC. Doesn't run Xbox OS. It doesn't matter what operating system you run. In fact, let me go ahead and break it to every single one of you today. Microsoft can decide that they want to make a piece of hardware and run Steam OS on it naturally, and it would still be called whatever the flip they want to call it. If they decide that they want to call it Upside Down Clown World Handheld PC, that would be the name. If they want to call it an Xbox PC, that would be the name as well. It doesn't really matter what you are over here trying to classify or categorize. Because if you want to start down this path, Mr. Cody guy, you'd have to go real against Thermaltake and HP and Lenovo and Dell and CyberPower and all of the others who make these devices using components from other manufacturers. In fact, you know what's even crazy? The partnerships that you're even seeing in devices like the Thermaltake Vista 470M or even the HP Omen and such is way more limited in scope than the partnership that you got to see with the Asus ROG Xbox Ally. In fact, there's more in terms of the work that was put in between both teams to make this device. And that's what even makes it much more unique. So claiming it not running Xbox OS as a somewhat requirement is insane. Saying it runs Windows 11 is also insane. If they decide that it's going to run DOS, some of you are probably going like, what the flip is DOS? It's DOS. Let me just go ahead and kind of I don't know, man. How do we want to do this? For those of you who are the boomers and Gen Xers that, kind of got in touch with DOS and also used it, shall we delve into this? Oh, you know what? Let's just leave it alone because I don't necessarily think it's necessary. It said requires a Windows driver and software updates. That makes no sense. That's what Windows would require. Runs into all typical Windows operating system bugs. So do the Dell gaming PCs, the Alienwares and the HP Omens and whatever it is, right? Xbox will not fix your Xbox if it breaks. And if your Thermaltake PC goes out of warranty and your Asus GPU, which you can actually go ahead and register and extend your warranty for, if Asus provided that for you, you can still take matters into your own hands. So at this point, Thermaltake can actually be cut out of the equation. That categorization is pure noobishness that you got from this gentleman over here. You see, this guy, I think what happened is he decided to maybe go ahead and, fixate himself as a PC gamer of some kind. But truly, he hasn't really, grown, permanent teeth in the area. So right now, he's just basically doing the milk-toothed type of analysis on PC, if you get what I mean. So very soon, the milk teeth of the console brain in his mind will fall off. And as he starts to grow, real teeth, he'll understand that there's so much more that, the PC platform is made of. You said Xbox will not fix your Xbox if it breaks. What is that supposed to mean? Device is called a PC handheld on the packaging. You are right. Nobody says it's not. But the device is also called an Xbox on the packaging. If you notice, this is spurging that you're actually allowing this guy go ahead and give you. And you said you're willing to have your mind changed. If you're willing to have your mind changed, not only are you going to have to sit down long enough to listen, you're also going to have to do a lot of work, and you're also going to have to be honest with yourself. The truth is, many of you are out of your depth, right? Many of you are out of your depth. You don't understand what you're even talking about. You really do not understand what you're talking about. In fact, I told you this, and look at what you said. This is how I know that many of you are doing this thing. I said to you, I said, your claim that Steam machines don't run Windows, that they run Steam OS, and Steam Deck also runs Steam OS for 24 years. Xbox ran Xbox operating system and all of that stuff. And you said, sure, they can call it what they want. So you already agree with me. You're already in agreement that this is exactly what they can do. You're concerned that anybody who purchases the device might be confused. That's beside the point. A customer is responsible for knowing what it is that they actually want to buy. And then I said this to you. Because the manufacturer calls it what they want, console makers have programmed all of you to think of a limited way. An Xbox can make a handheld and load Steam operating system on it and call it what they want. And it will still be an Xbox Steam machine. You said they will get sued. They'll probably, well, you don't know. Just so that you know, Valve has allowed for third-party manufacturers to actually come in and make Steam OS-based machines. But I'm sure you didn't know that. Again, you console gamers, as much as we want, to educate you, we ask that you take a step back and breathe. Many of you are coming at this from, I think, what is an emotional perspective. So there's a lot of, in my opinion anyways, clarity that's being unseen. And maybe you'll learn something because, to be honest, the truth doesn't care whether or not you're emotional or not. The truth is just going to stay here as is. And what's going to happen is the longer you guys have this conversation, there are two things that are going to happen. You're going to end up being discouraged because you thought you knew the answer, but you have to first admit that in the world of this whole PC thing, you're still a learner. Even those of us that have been in it for a long time, I'm talking decades, even we ourselves have to admit that there are things that many a thing that we don't know. I wonder why many would think that they can now hop over that body of knowledge and become experts in one weekend because Xbox decided to make a PC and you don't think it is because you're used to a limited access, no admin control device that you thought was supposed to be the way things would be for years. No, Xbox has surpassed PlayStation, sneakishly getting what they think, or no, not what they think, what they know is a platform that has access to so much that PlayStation can never touch, unless PlayStation takes this route. But we'll leave that for a different conversation. Peace out.